Podcast Light That Transforms Episode 1. Welcome to Light That Transforms. I'm Rodrigo, and in this first episode we're going to dive plain language style into the study 100,000 lumens to treat seasonal affective disorder, a proof of concept RCT of bright, whole room, all-day light therapy. As its lengthy English title hints, the research explores swapping the traditional light box that lamp that makes you sit still for 30 minutes every morning for lighting that floods your entire room for much of the day. The goal is to fight seasonal depression, the slump that arrives with short winter days, by delivering a brightness closer to a sunny summer noon than to a pinpoint bulb aimed at your face. Throughout this conversation we'll unpack what seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is, why light is so powerful against it, what the study's broad therapy involves, which concrete results it obtained, and what opportunities this approach opens up for everyday life, remote work, education, and older adult health. Context: why winter light matters. When natural daylight shrinks, many people feel a kind of emotional and even physical lethargy. They wake up sluggish, crave carbohydrates, and suffer irritability, sadness, and deep fatigue. This cluster of symptoms is diagnosed as seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Estimates vary, but 2–10% of those living far from the equator experience it each winter. The biology is fairly simple: with later dawn, our internal clock drifts, melatonin is released at the wrong time, serotonin production drops, and the brain thinks it's still too early to activate. Since the 1980s, the classic medical fix has been to sit before a 10,000 lux light box for 30 minutes. It works, but with two obvious drawbacks: it's inconvenient to stay motionless, and its effectiveness is only moderate compared with a bright summer day surrounding you on all sides. Enter broad therapy bright, whole room, all day, tested by a German team. The idea is almost DIY: hang dozens of high-power LED bulbs around the room, switch them on at daybreak, and off at sundown, so you're bathed in light without staying glued to a chair. Technically, the light strings given to the experimental group supplied 70,000–100,000 raw lumens, translating into eye-level illuminances that averaged 1/800 lux, with peaks above 6,000 and lows around 500 depending on distance. Fascinatingly, those momentary values are lower than the box's 10,000 lux, but exposure lasted at least 6 hours. Lux multiplied by hours gives the real light dose: 1/800 lux times 6h equals 10,800 lux hours, more than double the box's 5,000 lux hours in 30 minutes. In other words, you trade peak intensity for duration and full immersion. Study design and results. 62 people with winter depression took part. Half got the broad setup at home, the other half used the standard lamp. After 4 weeks, both groups cut 11 to 13 points from their SAD clinical scores, a clinically significant drop. No one quit, which is notable given how many patients abandon the box out of boredom. Side effects were mild: slight headaches or eye fatigue in under a third of participants, similar to controls. Crucially, within the broad group, those who averaged over 1/400 lux at the pupil improved even more, nearly 17 points, suggesting the greater the effective light reached the eye, the stronger the relief. Everyday advantages. First, you're freed from sitting still. Turn on the lights and go about telework, light exercise, reading, or cooking. Second, lead prices have plunged. A home build like the study's costs about €250 today, far cheaper than a year of antidepressants or lengthy therapy, not to mention lost winter productivity. Third, it's reversible: unscrew the bulbs come summer. Beyond the home, a post-lunch sluggish office could benefit from overhead lighting pumping out several thousand evenly distributed lux, minus flicker or harsh bluish glare. Schools in high-latitude regions could fit similar systems. Scandinavian data show bright morning light cuts absenteeism and boosts math and reading scores. In eldercare homes, broad lighting may reduce sundowning agitation and improve sleep without extra meds. Even business travelers can reset their body clocks more gently by lighting a hotel room intensely on destination time instead of box staring. So far we've covered what SAD is, why light heals, how broad works, and the measured benefits. We've also pictured practical uses wherever dimness battles productivity and mood. In the next episode we'll tackle risks and precautions when intense light might bother migraine or bipolar patients, how to tweak color temperature for a cozy feel, and cheap tricks, like phone lux meter apps, to hit the therapeutic dose. We'll answer FAQs about glasses, desk lamps combined with broad, and night shift timing. We'll close by outlining future research: IoT sensors that auto-tune intensity, tying lighting to smartwatches tracking daily exposure, and protocols to beat post-holiday winter blues. If this helped you, share it with that friend who loses energy each winter or the colleague teleworking in a dark room. I'm Rodrigo. This has been Light That Transforms. See you next episode, where light keeps giving us reasons to see winter differently. Podcast Light That Transforms Episode 2. Continuation and conclusion of the special on 100,000 lumens to treat seasonal affective disorder. 1. Welcome and quick recap. Hello, luminous community. I'm Rodrigo, kicking off the second half of our journey. Last time we decoded SAD, why light is medicine, how broad LED bulbs all over the room for 6+ hours works, and the German team's concrete benefits, symptom relief equal or superior to the classic box, with more freedom of movement and stellar adherence. Today we'll close the loop, risks and contraindications, DIY broad on a budget, tricks to measure light dose without pro gear, plus special uses for migraine, insomnia, jet lag, shift work, or non-seasonal depression. We'll finish with a peek at upcoming tech, real-time lux sensors, voice control, smartwatch integration, and community protocols for libraries, schools, and nursing homes. Close your eyes unless you're driving and imagine winter no longer gray. Let's begin. 1. Risks and contraindications. 1.1 Headache and eye strain. 1 in 4 participants felt mild headaches or eye fatigue early on. Usually this is a sudden jump from 300 lux, typical room, to 2000 lux. Fix, ramp up gradually. 50% bulbs week 1, 75% week 2, 100% week 3 and use frosted diffusers. 1.2 Photophobic migraine. Consult your neurologist. Many tolerate warm white, 3000K, better than cool, 6500K. Try 70% warm, 30% cool for a comfy 4000K. 1.3 Bipolar disorder. Bright light can trigger hypomania. Monitor mood every 48h for 2 weeks, stop if euphoric insomnia arises. Some clinics limit broad to mornings, 6h from 6 am. 1.4 Eye disease. Cataracts, glaucoma, retinopathy. Worry more about UV, which LEDs barely emit. Choose bulbs certified blue light less than or equal to RG1 and use plastic diffusers. 1.5 Late night use. Running broad past 6 p.m. can suppress melatonin. Turn off 3 hours before bed or dim gradually. 2 DIY home setup, step by step. 1. Pick the room where you spend greater than or equal to 6h/day. 2. Target 60,000-100,000 raw lumens. A14WA19 LED 1600 LM, 60 bulbs equals 96,000 LM. 3. Buy E27 socket strings, power strips, Wi-Fi timer. 4. Zigzag bulbs across ceiling/high walls, avoid direct glare lines. 5. Measure with a phone lux meter, aim for 1500 to 3000 lux at eye level, 500 to 800 lux in corners. 6. Schedule 7 to 13h in winter, shift earlier if you wake up early, and finish 3h before bed. 7. Journal energy, appetite, focus, sleep for 2 weeks, tweak color or timing as needed. 2025 cost, 60 bulbs, 90 cents each, 54 euros, 2 10M socket cords 36 euros, strips and timer 30 euros 120 euros. Power, 0.7 kWh/day Euro 3/month. 3. Audience FAQs. Blue blocking glasses? Use clear lenses for the first 2 exposure hours, wear blue blockers afternoon if screen heavy. Chronic insomnia? Yes, especially delayed phase. Morning broad advances melatonin, combined with nighttime darkness. Results in 2 weeks. Night shift workers? Switch on broad at your morning, even if 2 p.m. Then wear dark glasses home to avoid real dawn light. No space desk lamp enough? A box helps but is less comfortable. 2 10,000 lux LED panels angled at 45 degrees beside the monitor. Get close. Need cool blue? Antidepressant effect tracks lux more than color. Neutral 4000K works. If you prefer warm, blend 60% 3000K plus 40% 5000K. 4 special applications. Non-seasonal depression. Adding 45 minutes of 10,000 lux to SSRI speeds response, broad may double that effect. Dementia agitation. Meta-analysis, bright light reduces sundowning, improves sleep in care homes. Cancer fatigue. Breast cancer survivors improved sleep and mood after 4 weeks phototherapy. Cognitive performance. 30 min of blue light boosts working memory and reaction speed. A broad classroom can deliver the dose without stopping class. 5. The future. IoT sensors that read lux at your eyes via phone camera and auto-adjust LEDs. Smartwatch sync, buzzes if you've logged 5000 lux hours by noon. Community projects, libraries or co-works lending light cabins. Large-scale trials, low-cost broad versus antidepressants vs. CBT across thousands. Augmented reality glasses combining therapeutic light with info overlays. 6. Conclusion. Light is mental nutrition. If winter drains you, don't accept the gloom. For less than a coat, you can turn your room into perpetual sunrise and live untethered. Broad isn't magic, it takes consistency and common sense, but it's practical, cheap, and potent for mood, productivity, and sleep. Go gradual, measure with your phone, power down hours before bed, and consult a professional if you have complex conditions. Light can transform your days, just open the door. Thanks for joining these 2 episodes of Light That Transforms. Share with anyone who calls themselves a solar soul trapped in a winter body. Follow us for more science-backed wellness tech. I'm Rodrigo, lighting inner and outer spaces. Until next time. Podcast Light That Transforms Episode 3. Third and final installment. Picture this, a grey July morning in Santiago or Madrid. The alarm goes off, you open your eyes and the room is still dim. With the old light box you'd sit 30 minutes facing a panel, with broad you flip a switch and your room becomes instant sunrise. You start moving coffee, emails, and by 8 you've already banked 1000 lux hours. That's our starting image for what we'll call illuminated living, not a one-off treatment but designing spaces to support the circadian system year-round, at home, offices, gyms, schools, hospitals. We'll explore 5 blocks. 1. Advanced dosing protocols by goal, mood, sleep, jet lag, performance. 2. Real-world cases reporting productivity and well-being gains. 3. Advanced tech questions: color temperature, color render index, eye disease compatibility. 4. 5-year cost framework comparing home phototherapy with meds, therapy, absenteeism. 5. A research map where light merges with binaural sound, aromatherapy, neurofeedback to modulate mental states in real time. 1. Advanced dosing. Basic SAD regime, greater than or equal to 6H exposure 7 3 p.m., greater than or equal to 1/500 lux at the eye. Delayed phase insomnia, aim to shift clock earlier, switch on broad at 5:30 a.m. for 2 to 3H, then taper to office level 500 lux. Wear amber glasses after 8 p.m. to reinforce darkness, expect 90 to 120 minutes phase advance in 2 weeks. Night shift workers flip the schedule, intense light upon waking, even if 2 p.m., strict darkness after shift. European hospitals already deploy circadian lighting that shifts from bright blue to amber red by shift's end. If full install is impossible, 3 blue sky spectrum LEDs flanking the monitor can supply 1000 lux sustained. 2 user stories. Anna, 34, graphic designer in Osorno. Every winter I lagged. I hung 50 10-watt bulbs on aluminum hooks, Wi-Fi timer 7 to 13:30. Mild headaches week 1, by week 2 no naps, earlier deliveries, cravings down. Pedro, game developer in Barcelona, I always wear a cap and headphones, doubted the effect. Bought a €30 lux meter, adjusted lamps to 2000 lux at my visor. Dramatic change, fewer coffees, cleaner code, and neck pain gone because I stopped hunching toward a bright screen amid a dark room. 3 tech details for enthusiasts. Color temperature 6500K mimics noon sky and suppresses melatonin best but feels clinical. A 50/50ths mix of 4000K and 6000K yields comfy 5000K. CRI residential bulbs are 80, CRI 90 shows truer colors and eases eye strain for design, photo, medicine worth the 20% price bump. Eye safety reputable LEDs meet IEC 62471 risk group 0 to 1. Avoid uncertified bulbs that may spike UV or violet blue. Glaucoma data show no specific harm, cataracts scatter not filter, so broad can even boost functional vision by raising contrast. 4 5-year cost benefit. Install 90000 LM, 540W, 6H/day, 11mo/year. Power at Euro 0.15/kWh 178 euros/year. Depreciate €150 hardware over 5 years 30 euros/year. Total Euro 208/year. Compare, 2 months of generic SSRI 60 euros, often yearly. Lost productivity from SAD, 20% of salary, at €1 net, that's Euro 300/month. The lighting pays for itself in the first winter. For a 40-person company, broad lights amortize in 3 weeks. 5 future research. Swiss teams pair bright light with 40 Hz relaxing tones to clear beta amyloid, aiming at cognitive decline. Lamps releasing microdosed citrus scent reinforce a fresh morning alertness. Prototypes talk to neurofeedback. If alpha waves crash, stress, lights ramp up white to reverse drowsiness. Conclusion. Light won't solve relationship woes or replace exercise, but by aligning your biological clock it fuels you to tackle those fronts. Think of it as tuning your instrument daily. A Stradivarius out of tune is wasted. With Broad, you tune your day. 7-day starter plan. Day 1 buy bulbs, Day 2 measure lux, note baseline energy, Day 3 50% lights, Days 4 to 6 75%, Day 7 100%, rate mood with a simple 5-phase scale. If up by 2 points, keep it up 4 weeks to cement circadian shift. And that wraps Light That Transforms. 3 episodes, 8000 plus words, 1 message. Winter doesn't dictate your mood, proper light does. Thanks for listening, sharing, and daring to try accessible science. I'm Rodrigo, May your day be literally bright. Until the next everyday science adventure.